Hi, welcome back to the podcast. In this episode, I'm talking to Colin Moss. Colin joined the Army in 1995, attending Pirbright before joining 1st RHA in Tidworth. Colin also served in 3-4 Battery at Larkhill, and later as an instructor back at Pirbright. Today, Colin talks about his time in 3-4 Battery, as well as tours of Iraq, and some challenges he faced later towards the end of his military service. If you like this podcast or any of the previous ones, please consider buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Frankie'sPod. It helps to fund the software and the hosting. Thanks very much. I hope you enjoy this episode. And today we're going to be talking to Colin Moss. Colin, I served with him for a couple of years at Larkhill around about 2000. We know each other from the infamous tug of war team, which no doubt we'll talk about later. Hi, Colin, how are you doing?
Hello, mate. You're right. Sorry, I do apologise. I've got a bit of a cough, cold just come on yesterday, so I might have a little bit of a cough now and again. So I apologise for that.
That's fine. So if you just want to tell us a bit about yourself, where you grew up, what it was like there, and what made you join the army, and when you joined the army.
Okay, mate. So I was born in Liverpool, mate. I was born up there, you know. I was your face there. I was born in a caravan up in Liverpool, and then sorry, I wasn't born in a caravan. I was born in Oxford Street Hospital. We lived in the caravan. After I was born in the hospital, they knocked it down. So it's gone now. So after that, I moved around a little bit. My dad was in manufacturing, and I moved around from Liverpool to Sussex to Essex when I was about 6, I think. And it's always a bit rough moving around from school to school as a young lad, particularly with a different accent. Just getting scrapes as a kid in the playground and that sort of stuff. Your kids always, lads always try to put themselves in like a pecking order, don't they? A new kid comes in, 6, 7, 8 years of age, something like that. So I was always scrapping and dramas and shit like that. So, but I settled in Essex and then stayed there, brought up there. And then 19, moved to Cornwall with my parents who moved down there and bought a pub. And was down there for about 3 years. And I was working on a quarry, cutting and shaping granite and working behind my mum and dad's pub in the evening. And then I thought, do you know what?
I was working on a quarry?
Yeah. I was like Fred Flintstone, mate.
A quarry? Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was literally with hammer and chisel like that. Bosh. Yeah, seriously. Picking up.
Yeah, wow, I was going to say, I think that'd be hard work.
Oh, mate, picking up like great big lumps of granite. They would blow it out the face of the wall, picking up lumps of granite, chucking them in a dumper, driving them around. We literally had a barrel with a load of shingle in it, and then literally stood in the middle of a quarry. The elements, the rain was coming in, shit everywhere. Wind, rain, whatever. Literally hammer and chisel, squaring and cutting, shaping granite to send it off to the building sites. I loved it. Lifting up. That's what got me into sort of like lifting weights and all that sort of stuff. So did that for a bit. And then I thought I was getting a bit of drama down in Cornwall and stuff. So I thought, now I'm going to join the army. So there you go. And then I met you lunatic.
So what made you join the artillery then?
So I went to basic training. No, sorry, let me go back. So I went to Red Roof Army Careers Office, and it goes in there and it says, I want to join the army. And I had an earring in, and some great big sergeant he was stood in the door with a moustache, and he went, "Get that fucking out your ear and start then." Yeah, all right. And I was 22, 21 I think I was at the time. So he come in, so I goes in. He said, "What do you want to join?" I went, "I don't know." the army. And he went, all right, I can sit down there, read this book. So I went through a book, and I said, I don't want to be right at the front, like inventory and that. I said, no, I'm not capable. That's too much for me. I said, can I be a bit further back? What do they do? And he goes, artillery, they're a bit further back. I went, yeah, I'll do that then. And he went, oh, which section do you want to be in? I went, I don't know. So he goes, what about commandos and that? I went, do they have to run fast? He went, yeah. I went, yeah, probably not then. Ordinary artillery, and that's literally how it happened, mate, yeah.
So then it was off to Pirbright then. What year was that?
So that was 1995. So went off to Pirbright and went there. Sorry, I got deferred. I went to selection, got deferred first of all, because I used to suffer a bit of asthma and that. So they deferred me, so I had to go and do loads of tests and all that. And I went back again 6 months later and got through the selection and that, and then went to Pirbright after that. Oh, that was it. When I first left the Army Careers Office, they gave me the Queen's Shilling. Did you have that, Frankie? Yeah. They give you the 10 quid or something. 10 quid or whatever it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I walked straight out of the Red Roof Careers Office, straight into Rose Cottage opposite. I was in there. I was spending me fucking my money from it was the first drink I had out of the army. Brilliant.
I think everybody did.
Yeah. So no, that was it, mate. And then
so what did you make of Pirbright?
I went back there. I went back there, didn't I, as a troop sergeant and all that later on, which I guess you're going to come back to later on. But I loved it, mate. It was brilliant. I was at a point in my life. I'd sort of started going down a bit of a wrong road in Essex and then in Cornwall as well. I think I was 10 ton. And I thought to myself, I needed the discipline. I needed to make something of myself. I was probably not going to amount to much. A lot of people turn around in the army and they say, I would have been dead or in jail. I wouldn't have been, because I wasn't that bad. I'm probably a bad, good lad. But I'm not. I wouldn't have ended up dead or in jail, but I was probably just milling around the wrong groups and stuff. And the army gave me an option, I think, to better myself. And I think now, after 24 years and retiring as a sergeant major, I'm a better person now. I'm a 10 times better person now than I was before. Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect sense. I'd like to say it made me a better person. I think it did, because I can't remember what I was like then. But, it was such a long time ago. Victorian times when I joined and all that.
I know, you're a bit older.
So after Pirbright, yeah, I'm getting on a bit, mate.
How old are you now?
Put this way, I'm on full pension. I'm on my full pension.
Oh, yeah.
Put it that way.
So you're 55?
Yeah, 55.
Fair play, mate. Fair play.
Yeah, just turned.
I've got 4 years to go.
Hey, and there's a big jump in that pension. It's nice.
Is it? Good. I can't wait.
Yeah.
More sellers.
So that was off to phase 2. What did you think of that?
After what, sorry?
Phase 2 training.
Phase 2, mate, I went off to Leconfield to do get on my HCVs and all that, sort of done all that. I enjoyed up there. There was a couple of dolly birds up there. I met a couple of lovelies. So that was all right. That was all right. And then got all my HCV licenses, class 1, class 2, the whole shebang. And then came back to Larkhill then to do my what do you call it then? Fucking hell. Trade training, that's it.
Gunnery.
Yeah. So did all that then. And I turned up at a regiment for 1st Regiment Royal Horse Artillery.
Did you pick the regiment, or was it picked for you?
Oh God, do you know what? I remember at my drill parade. When you like a basic training, you have to go out, and they call you forward. They select who was going to come. So they selected me, didn't they? Fucking twats. So I did.
Yeah.
Moss. So I marched out, and they said, "Which regiment?" I didn't have a clue. I didn't even know where I was going to go when I went in the careers office. So they go, "Where are you going to go?" I went, 1st Regiment Royal Arse Artillery. I fucked it all up, didn't I? It's all nerves went to cock and all that. So I didn't have a clue. So it was the closest regiment to the bird I was with at the time. That was literally the reason. Didn't have any clue about anything. Still the same. Quality, innit? Yeah, I'm like the world's worst fucking bloke.
I'm laughing just because I fucking know you. I know what you're like. Yeah, right. So what? That's all right, mate. Right. So, right. Back on track.
Go on.
So obviously, getting to your unit's very different to being in training.
So I remember the first day. It was like December, and there was like a great big long drag all the way down to the guardroom. To get into the guardroom to go to admin office or where it was. So I goes down to the guardroom, my bags on my back and all that. Walked all the way down this long drag. It's about a mile and a half it was to the guardroom. Gets there, Colin Moss, yeah. So Moss, Gunner Moss. Forget your first name, don't you? So go to the office over there. So I goes over, sits down. They went, yeah, all right. You can report for duty next week. I went, all right. So I had to walk all the way back down the fucking main drag again. So I went straight up to the garage up the road and bought a car. That was the first thing I did. I was like, and I was sick of that fucking main drag. So I bought this Orion injection gear. They were the thingers. So there was something at the time. So
I had one myself.
Did you? They were lush, mate. Yeah. So I 1.6 injection gear. So in metallic blue.
Right.
So so I had that, and then came back, and my first duty was New Year's Eve.
Cool.
Right on the front gate of VCP2. Everyone was like fireworks going off. I thought, brilliant, this is going to be great. But you know what? It was all right, and somebody brought out a little bit of a little shot of brandy or whatever it was. I don't know what it was. Warm me up a little bit. It was freezing cold now, but it was all good, mate. I was loving it, literally loving it. Yeah, you're doing like 4 hours on, fucking whatever it was, 2 hours off, 4 hours on, 3 hours off, whatever it was. I don't know, I can't remember. But it was standing on the front gate, and that's what you're doing, isn't it? That's what you join up for.
So what was it like in the regiment then? How did the lads treat you or not?
It was difficult for me, I think, initially, because I was a bit older, so I was 22 when I joined. So I had a good mate of mine, Gaz Swanston, who lived in the same 4-man room that I was in. Dave Elson, he was in there and all, and we had a right laugh. It was brilliant. It was difficult though. Because I thought I was 10 ton, didn't I? Coming from Essex, a Scouser, working on a quarry, cutting and shaping granite. I thought I was quite big built for a short lad, and I thought I was a bit something special. So I soon got brought back down to line a little bit. You know what I mean? By some of the other senior gunners who, it was a bit like that. But yeah, it was nothing major. But I was sensing that it was a bit like this guy thinks he's a bit tasty, and we need to just. I was probably ostracised a little bit. If I'm honest, it was a bit like, "Oi, mate, fuck off out of the way," and no one wants to socialise with you. So it was a big learning curve. That forget who you think you might be. If you want to be part of us in this team, then you better knuckle down and sort yourself out. So that was how it was. I think, Frankie, if I'm honest with you. And that was what I needed. It was exactly why I joined. It was exactly what I needed.
Oh, good. I mean, yeah, I know what you mean. I've seen guys coming into the regiments and stuff like that, and thinking of the big I am, and yeah, it is left kind of to the senior gunners to put them into place.
Well, we can talk about something about that with me and you later, whenever you want to. But I think that's a nice story. I think it's a nice story, mate.
If you really want to, yeah.
So, all right. So, yeah. So, for people who are listening, do you want to do it now, or we're doing a talk about tug of war?
No, we'll do it later. We'll
Yeah. All right.
we'll try and do it in a bit of a timeline.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to.
spoilers and all that as
I don't want to mess up your program.
Right, so you've done a bit of time at first then.
Yeah.
Any tours there while you were there before you moved out of there?
Sorry, mate. Say again.
Canada or anything like that? Sorry, so when you got after you got the first, was there any tours that you did, anything like that?
Yeah, so I went to Bosnia twice. So in my whole time, I can't remember the exact years, but in my whole time, I did Bosnia twice, Kosovo, and then I did Iraq in 2007. I did pre-deployment training for Afghan, but then never went because I got promoted and stayed back and went into welfare. But as a sergeant major there, so I've done 1, 2, 3, 4 tours. Loads of exercises for all over Salisbury Plain, Canada, Kenya. I went to Italy, Germany with you and all the tug of war team. So I travelled around loads. It was lovely, mate. It was really, really good.
Is there anything outstanding that you remember from any of the tours of Bosnia or Kosovo?
Yeah, for me, the main thing for me, not Bosnia Kosovo, the main thing for me was in 2007 in Iraq, we were selected to go and do this strike op. And I got put with a guy. They put like an outer cordon in and an inner cordon. And we went and did this strike op through, and we were practicing everything and all that for a few weeks before in camp. Sort of rebuilt the building to a certain extent, and then we had a guy from Special Forces Reserves was giving us tuition and training and all that. And on the day, about 3 o'clock in the morning, they went to me. They went, Mossy, the guy ain't turning up. You got a guy from the SAS. I went, brilliant. Fucking great. That means now it's serious shit, isn't it? And I'm like, I just started crying. So I'm like, I'm going home in a bit. So I was like, fuck. So this guy turned up from the SAS, and I was just in total awe. It's like I'm looking at Beyonce or something. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, just like that. This guy was like the coolest man you've ever seen in your life. So when you ask me about the most monumental thing for me, this is it. This guy turned up. Eddie, they called him. And poor old Mad Harry was our team commander at the time. He passed away a few years ago. Bless you. Rest in peace, Harry. Love that boy. And then, so we went off and done this strike up. He was always telling me off for being in the wrong position and all sorts of shit like that, standard. But he was the most professional guy I've ever seen. Like, it's just, when you hear about the SAS, I've been fortunate enough to operate alongside one and realise literally how shit I am. Like, honestly, it's just phenomenal. And but the sad part about that is, having met him and spoke to him and stuff, he was saying that his only role in Iraq was to do strike ops one after the other, and he'd been out there like nearly 6 months. He'd done ours, and then he had another one. He said to me after we'd done all our op and that, was in the Rover going back, and he said, "Oh yeah, I've got another one in Baghdad tomorrow." And he went into Baghdad, and he'd gone through the front door and done all his bits, and it's like he does. And he met what would have been me coming through then at the bottom of the stairs, running up the stairs like I was running up after him, and he got took out at the top. That was him. So really, really sad. But I'll tell you what though, mate, the best thing I've ever done, but the saddest thing at the same time, but to operate alongside somebody of such, like a fucking literally Beyonce type thing. Yeah. Amazing soldier. Amazing.
No, I know what you mean. Fucking hell. I mean, it was. I mean, I went out to Iraq in 2003, obviously for the night war bit and all that, and went back out in 2006. Half two there before I got posted back to 39 Regiment, so I could come back to the UK. And Iraq was very different in 2006 to what it was when we went out there. So, I mean, I can't remember who took over from us in 2003 because we went out and did the war. Wasn't it first who came out?
I think we went out in 2004, but I wasn't there. But yeah, 2004. That was
very
good old
different,
Ollie and Terry Bryant and all that era who got caught up, didn't they, in the middle of the in Basra? Yeah.
Yeah.
In 2004.
Yeah. So you ended up in Larkhill for a while.
Yeah.
Along with a lot of others.
Well, everyone's there now, aren't they?
How did you end up there?
Everyone's all there now, aren't
they? Yeah. So hang on. Yeah, but I mean, as Chris has mentioned on his podcast and other people mentioned on theirs, you either go to Larkhill because you need to, like I had to get back to the UK type of thing, or you go there so the regiment can get readier, let's say, without putting too fine a point on it. So which one were you?
So I got done for drink. I joined the army. I got done for drink driving in 1996. I've been in the regiment about a year.
Right.
Hold on, I don't know how I got done for that. So I'd had a promotion ban.
We've all been there.
Yeah, I hadn't settled in. You know, I was ruffling a few feathers, but anyway, sort of a couple of years after that, I started going knuckling down and realising, look, you need to be part of a team, and you need to all the things the army teaches you. So, and I'm moving forward a little bit now in the way that I was. In the end, I was an instructor in the army in later years, but I fucking learned it.
Yeah.
I learned it in the early years. So I was faced with an opportunity of going to Larkhill to get promotion as a lance jack. So for me, there wasn't.
I was going to say you were a lance jack,
yeah. So there wasn't a place for me to get a lance jack in first RHA. So they said go there. I didn't get your lance jack there. So that's how I went there, mate. First of all. Were we there together when I was a lance jack or full screw?
Lance jack. 99, 2000.
Yeah, lance jack then. Yeah. Was that when we were doing all tug of war and all that? In fact, hold on, let me check my trophies. Hold on.
Yeah,
I need my glasses. Hold on. Right, 97, frankly.
Nah.
Right, so I was doing that then in 1 They won RHA trophy. Oh, I don't know. Fuck knows.
Yeah, they won RHA. Yeah. It was like 2000 when we were there. I went there halfway through 99 and left 2000, end of 2001. I left. And yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Larkhill. And weirdly, most people are going to get told to go in there, as you know.
I loved it.
I don't want to go. I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave Larkhill. I liked the work I was doing because I was in C Troop.
Yeah.
Ended up on the OPs. Fuck knows how. But you were doing your job all the time. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Literally out on the field every day.
You know, everyone was a good bunch of lads and that. Yeah. And you see all the other regiments, you get on with them. There's a bit of rivalry, but you get on with it.
No, it was quality, weren't it?
But it was, I really enjoyed it. Yeah. And then we ended up doing tug of war.
Oh, mate. It was brilliant, wasn't it? I've never, ever done a sport. Bearing in mind now, I was always, like, sporty. So I wear feeler tracksuit tops, for fuck's sake. But I'm no Bjorn Borg. But I was district champion 400-metre hurdler at school. I won every fucking sports race, and, you know, I was fast. I was good quality football player. I was always sport orientated. I know this. I goes to join the army, and then some idiot, probably like you, whoever it was, said, "Go and do tug of war." All right. I have never done a sport that can just literally take you from being fully fit and strong and straight and upright, feeling great, to being bent over double, aching from head to foot, throwing up, with all your arms all locked up and your body aching in about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It is literally the hardest sport I've ever done in my whole life.
Yeah, and when you try and tell people that, and they're like,
it's all right for you though, mate. You was anchorman. You would just fucking hang around at the back with a rope wrapped around you, lying back.
Yeah, fucking holding us all up.
Mate, you were brilliant anchor.
Pulling us along when you're all sat on the floor.
You never used to go either left or right. You just was straight, man. You were a quality anchor.
It's the quickest way back, that's why.
I remember it was, honestly, I loved it. But we were in Larkhill. I did it for 1RHA for a bit, and then when I went to Larkhill, I met up with all you lot reprobates. As you said, you go to Larkhill for one or two reasons. So we're all probably a little bit wrong. And yeah, we were, weren't
we? Yeah. Yeah. We were always professional on the rope.
Yeah.
We were always professional training. We always had that.
I'll tell you what, we always did well on the rope as well, mate.
Yeah.
We were good on the rope.
Yeah, we did. I mean, it was annoying sometimes, and we did a lot of like weekends and stuff like that as well, which was a bit annoying. Because you were all right, you were getting time off work doing a tug of war, but you were losing your weekends when you wanted to be home with your family or out on a piss or whatever.
Yeah.
But we just didn't want to piss anyway. And some of the scrapes we got into, you know what I mean?
I mean, shall I tell you about one now?
Years later, mate, we can talk about them.
Shall I tell you about one now?
We can talk about whatever you want, mate.
So
go on.
So being fucking Colin Moss, I think I'm a bit whoa. So done a tug of war and all that. Our coach, Si Beckett, bless him, love the boy. He says, "Come back to my place.
Yeah.
We'll have a barbecue in the garden." All right. I'm thinking, he's the biggest guy in the fucking group here. Frankie Dunn. I'm going to go and run up in a minute and catch him unawares, fucking smack him right in the gob, knock him out, and then I'll be the gaffer. That was in my mind.
Right.
In my drunken stupor, right? So I remember going...
And to be perfectly clear, we were all very drunk.
Very drunk, yeah. So I remember in the garden, I thought... Yeah. So I remember, I'm thinking, there's no way I'm going to... Mate, you're a big guy. So I went, I've got to catch him unawares. So I've got to catch him and just run at him and fucking hit him, like... Which I did, didn't I? I came running up and fucking hit you proper, clear on the chin there. And I thought, that's him, he's down. Frankie Dunn went, "Why did you do that?" Frankie Dunn grabbed me by the throat, didn't you, mate? Picked me up off the floor, fucking threw me on the ground, and literally started choking me. I was like, well, I'm going to die. And I was like, I couldn't breathe. There was nothing, mate. You literally could have killed me that day. Yeah, fair play to you, my friend. I love you to this day, seriously.
And 30 seconds later, we were stood having a beer.
At the end of it, mate, that's what I was going to say. That's at the end of it, you just got up and went, stop being a prick. And I went, yep, okay, mate. And that was that. And there was no animosity from me, and none of the other guys. And I think that's what the squaddies do, innit? You just... Sometimes you have a little scrape or whatever, and there's none of this animosity, and that's what I'm struggling with the civvy side of it. But certainly with us, mate, and you were fucking brilliant with that.
I'll tell you what, honestly, and I've told this story to civvy friends and stuff like this, and I want to share it because it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my fucking life. Was when we were up at our broth doing Braemar, and we were waiting to come back the next day. You were late. We ended up fucking waiting for you. Got you in the minibus, and to say that you were still drunk, fucking ming mong. Do you remember? Do you know where I'm going with this? Do you remember?
No.
So we were driving around the ring road, coming out of Aberdeen. I think Aberdeen it was, not Arbroath, Aberdeen. And every traffic lights we stopped. Mountie and one of the other lads was in
the van.
It must have been Tommy Kleins. He was a fucker and all. Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. The little commando fella it was. That's who it was. The Mountie kept jumping out and banging on the minibus door.
Oh, I know where you're going with this. Yeah, go on. I know where you're going.
See all the people driving on like that. So we decided to pull over to get something to eat in a cafe before the long journey back down to Larkhill. Because it was like a fucking 12-hour drive, wasn't it? And you refused to get out the minibus because you were feeling a bit worse for wear until somebody got you a wheelchair. So we did.
Yeah.
And we wheeled you into the cafe.
Yeah.
And you were pretending to be.
Yeah. This is not a nice thing to say, frankly.
You were sticking knives in your leg, that. Yes, but it was so funny. And we were like that. We were all like stabbing fork in the leg. And the locals were like looking at us like, I can't do it. Yeah, we can, he's all right, you can't feel it.
Yeah, I did.
And then we all just, we had our scran, and we got up and walked out and left you there. And they could see the locals going, you can't do that. And when the last come over and went, can I get you anything? And you just give her the tray, stood up and said, no, you're all right, and walked out.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get lynched. Yeah.
It's not nice to pretend to be disabled, but I did on that occasion. But yeah, you guys all took the piss. Yeah.
This was all them times, it was funny. It was hilarious. At the time we were driving back from Braemar to Aberdeen.
Why is it always me? It's always me fucking up, isn't
it? Well, I'm not going to tell the ones where I've done it, am I?
Oh, yeah, of course. Fair play.
What did you do? We were driving through the village, and again, might have been a little bit drunk on a minibus, and there was like a party or a fete or something like going on in this village. And we were pulling up slowly to some traffic lights.
Oh.
And I don't know where you got the idea from or why you did it, but you opened the side door, some kid was walking down the road, and you fucking dragged him in, sat him on a seat, said, shut up, don't speak. And he just shut himself. When I say a kid, right, I don't mean like a child. He was about, he was like 19 or whatever. He was a young man. To say that you dragged some kid in a minibus.
Yeah, some like young lad.
And he was shitting himself.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
I think that was Mountie, actually.
He was walking down the road.
I think that was Mountie, actually.
Yeah, eh?
I think that was Mountie, actually.
No, it wasn't. It was you. It was definitely
was it?
You.
What about when we were driving along through... What about when we were driving through Thirsk, right? Your neck of the woods. And it was the night that you got in trouble with the... What do you call them? The kebab van and all that. Yeah.
The taxi driver.
Yeah. But I got thrown out of the minibus. Them young girls.
You didn't get thrown out of the minibus. You dived out of the minibus.
All right.
Flung the door open.
I tried to.
We were travelling about 30 miles an hour.
And then these young girls, I say young girls, about 20, 21, whatever they were. And I started kissing them and that, didn't I? And then I goes into the pub with you. Yeah. And Mountie, the girl gave me her number, and Mountie ate it. Who does this shit?
Yes, yeah, he did, yeah.
This is crazy shit, mate, yeah. Mountie...
That incident in Tidworth cost me 500 quid.
You're lucky there, because you put all the car windows through and everything, didn't you?
Yeah, well, like I say, fucking stabbed me. I thought...
Is this turned into an interview that you wish you never started?
That's fine. I don't mind talking about shit.
Mate, you were a legend, though, mate. You fucking, you had none of it that night. You go on.
I thought I was being a good boy, getting used like that with the taxi, which turned out to be pizza delivery. And then he'd come out and he'd try to stab me. So I lost my rag, chased him back into the shop, come out, smashed the car up, as you do.
Yeah.
Went to walk off, all casual like, after I'd calmed down, because I was a bit angry. And then the police car pulled up next to me. And they just went, hello. And I just looked at them and went, I'll get in the back then, shall I? And they just went, yeah. I went, right, okay.
I remember it.
Climbed in the back, and the policewoman looked at us. And she went, that's the easiest arrest I've ever done. And I was like, nice one.
How long ago was that? What year was that, Frankie? What year was that?
2000. That was 2000, that was.
Mate, 24 years ago.
Yeah, fucking hell. And you remember it like it's like... It was yesterday.
Do you know what someone said to me in the office the other day? He went, Can you remember the Terminator film, the first Terminator film coming out?
Mm-hmm.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and all that.
It was what?
40 odd years ago. 40 years ago. 40 years, mate. Where's that gone? It was 1980 odd and that.
It fucking flies, mate.
40 years ago, mate.
Yeah, it's crazy. Isn't it?
Crazy. Fuck.
Right, let's get back on track.
Sorry,
for a bit,
Frankie.
mate.
Yeah, I'm fucking up your shit.
No, nothing to be sorry about. You're not fucking up with shit. This is hilarious.
Oh, mate.
People are going to love it. All right. As long as they just forget about me.
No, you can't. Who can forget about you? Jesus. You're a bit of a legend. So, yeah.
So after Larkhill, did you go back to First
Oh,
RHA?
mate, I was back and forth. So I went. When I was with you there, then I went back to Larkhill again as a full screw instructor, teaching phase 2.
Part 2, 4, back with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I went to Pirbright as a sergeant, teaching phase 1. And then I came back to regiment. Then got promoted staff sergeant, and then sergeant major, warrant officer. Yeah. There you go. How's that?
You know, no one would have thought you'd get a WO2. I would have thought you got a WO2. You know what I mean?
I did. Did you not know I got WO2?
No.
Didn't you?
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I think they just give them out as quick as Christmas crackers. Or maybe I got it for fucking comedy value, or I don't know. But
no, you deserved it, mate. Well,
no, thank you. No, I was pretty. Do you know what? My last couple of years in the army were in the welfare, and I found it quite tough. You know, I was a bit older when I joined, so I was a bit older when I left. Obviously, so having to be in a post which is probably the lower what's the word now? The lower quality warrant officer post in the regiment, but I was the most senior, so it was very difficult. You had BSMs who were less senior than me and younger than me, and so it was very difficult. Plus, as well, after that, all my colleagues, friends like you and everyone else, and all the history and everything that I'd had with 1RHA throughout my whole career, had all gone. Everyone had moved on, and so I was faced with a new crop.
Yeah.
And that's not a derogatory term. It was a new crop of people who were trying to be like, you know, what? Oh yeah, I'm thrusting, I'm driving, and I want to be this and I want to be that, and I'm a PSM, and not necessarily from 1RHA background. Lovely guys, great guys, but it was difficult for me because I didn't have people like you and Chris Brown and Mounty and, you know, and Stevie Williams and all the I could name 1,000 people. You know, all the people from our era who we used to, you know, Chuck Norris, and I could name 1,000 people. But
so basically, the characters had
left. The characters had left, and that's what I found at my sort of final years. Really was, and sort of like, sorry, I'm probably jumping ahead. I'll stop there.
No, go on.
I was going to say that, like, I probably think that if I show you this, Frankie, look, I'm in my flat now. That's military corner. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Can you see it all right?
Yeah, fine.
So I'm very proud of it. When I first left the army, I was probably not that. I had a wobble, and I spoke to you about it before. I had a breakdown, and wasn't in a great place. Didn't like the army. Didn't like anything to do with it. I had a proper breakdown. Mental health went. I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't do anything. for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I was in a bad way. But now look, I'm back in here, and I know we spoke about earlier on. I didn't want to do this, but I'm doing it.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, and I was going to just say then. I mean, to anyone listening, me and Colin spoke for a while before we came and recorded this, and Colin was very hesitant of doing it because previously that he's had the problems that he's just been speaking about, and I'm glad you've spoke about that because it helps you get it off. I wouldn't say get it off your chest, speak it and it's fucking great. It's all healed. It isn't, but I didn't know you'd been suffering that. But now I do, and now you've explained it a bit. You feel a bit more comfortable chatting to me. That's why I wanted to send you the link early, so we could have a chat. So you did feel a bit more
I
comfortable.
appreciate it.
But do you think when you left the army, did you find that? I mean, nearly everyone I've spoke to up to now, when they've left the military, I've said to them, did you feel as though the transition into Civvy Street, the military helped, or did they just go like, yeah, all right, fuck off?
So I was very well looked after, mate, and I've seen some of your other podcasts, Frankie, and some people are very negative, but I'm not. I'm so pro army, and that. As I said to you, I wasn't in the right frame of mind before I joined the army, and the army made me a better person, and I'm now in a really good place. But when I did break down, when I first left, it was great. The Army Welfare Service was there, and they would come and visit me, and everything was great. Honestly, the support was amazing. And it got me through. And I say literally, I couldn't speak, I couldn't go out of the house, and it wasn't anything to do with PTSD or anything like that. It was just purely and simply, I think, because it's just like you got to start again. So I mean, did you experience that?
Yeah. So I wouldn't say I suffered it as bad, but I did come to the conclusion that I knew fuck all. I don't think. I mean, I did 27 years, and I got out as a full screw. A flyer. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I did. I wasn't prepared for it. I thought I was. 3-9 Regiment kind of looked after me quite a bit. Where the job I was doing, I was working with the RCMOs, and basically the RCMO was coming over, and a new RCMO's assistant was coming in, and I handed over to him. Went off and done me resettlement course, and I came back and I said, right, what do you want me to do? I've got another like 4 months, and they just went, go on. We haven't got a job for you. There's no point in you hanging around. If we need you, we'll give you a shout. You're only across the road. I lived on camp, literally across the road from HQ. And they just sent me up. So I had like 4 months off, sat at home.
That's not good, is it?
Should have given me plenty of time to. Well, in some ways it was, because it allowed me to study. I was going into IT, and I needed to gen up on what I needed to know.
Oh, it's okay. So it gave you the facility. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But coming out into it, like, for example, the first time we moved off camp and we moved into a house up in Bedlington, and we were sat there, and the first night a police car drove past, and we all looked at each other and what the fuck's that? And followed by another police car.
Were you ducking and diving?
What's going on?
Were you running out of the way?
I just spent all this time. Yeah. Because we'd spent all that time behind the wire, we weren't used to like sounds of police cars and people fucking being in trouble and stuff like that. You just think, you scrubs, and kind of looking down on people, but then realizing very rapidly that you're just the same as them. Everyone's got to live, everyone's got to survive. And, some people do it different ways to what you're going to do.
It is, mate. For me, it was like, it was excuse me, it was a shock where I literally just woke up one morning, and I'd done some mental health training as well. I literally woke up one morning and I just couldn't move. I couldn't leave the bedroom. I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't stop crying. I didn't want to go to work. I just literally, and at the time I was living with my wife, and we were doing some hosting. We had some guests staying in the house, and I just couldn't. I couldn't go out. I couldn't face them. So I had to get my mum to come up from Cornwall, who was like in her 70s, to come and help out. And I couldn't leave the bedroom. I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't talk to anyone. It was so bad. I just didn't see it coming. Didn't see it coming, mate. And as a result of it, like 2 or 3 days later, I was just lying in bed, and I remember looking up at the ceiling and that and going, right, you just got to lie here and just think, what if you look at from the left to the right, what's the things that stress you out? Is it that? Is it that? And assess my own responses to that. Is it that? Is it that? Is it that? No, 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 no. That. Yes. Because I started going, so I thought, okay. So it was the job that I had at the time. So I was like, right. So that's when I said to my missus at the time, my wife, who I said, look, I can't do it. So she said to me, I'll take you to the doctors. I can't go doctors. I can't go doctors. I've got to book an appointment. I said, you'd have to book it. She tried to call the doctors. I said, to confirm it with me. I went, I can't talk. I can't talk. She passed me the phone, and I literally said, she said, all you got to do is say your name. I said, Colin Moss. And I just broke down crying again. It was horrendous, Frankie, So then I couldn't get over the front doorstep. I couldn't get to the front of the driveway. And eventually, my wife at the time, she took me down, took me to doctors. I was in bits, absolute bits. But the Army were really, really good, and they gave me so much support, mate. Army Welfare Service were brilliant. Coming over and seeing me like every week. My bosses and that were there and seeing and talking to me and stuff, because I was on FTRS then. Right, the support was fantastic, and it got me. But I had to leave the job. But that's when, after that, I went, and it was all about me then. And that's when I started doing truck driving, and that's when I started my own car business, and because it was always in my comfort zone. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen that you'd, clocked you on Facebook, that you'd had your own car place. Because I was looking for cars at the time, and I was even considering giving you a shout and having to drive down. But all your stock was shit.
It used to be quite good. It was.
I'm joking. You had some nice cars, mate.
Yeah, it was one of those things, mate. I started up just literally because when you leave the Army, you get a lump sum, and I was recovering from the breakdown. And I didn't really know what I was going to do. I couldn't go and work for people. I didn't want to be around people, so I was quite introverted, which is quite surprising for people who would know me as being introverted. And this is what we spoke about before this tonight. So so I was quite introverted and didn't really want to do it. So I thought, what can I do? So I thought, you know what? I got a lump sum from the Army. I got a pension now, so I'll just buy a couple of cars, and I'll just buy a couple of cars and sell them off my driveway, which I did. And then 2 cars turned into 3, turned into 5, turned into 10. Then the neighbours were moaning, and the cars everywhere. So there was a couple on the next door's driveway, and then in the street. And then I got a letter from the council saying, you're selling cars from home. It's not a commercial property. So I was like, okay. So I looked into all that. So I was like, coming out of COVID, I went, I'm going to go and get a forecourt and do it properly. So I went and got a forecourt and did that. And I did 5 years. And yeah, I did. A lovely, lovely business. Me and my good friend Beck Arrington was on there. Neil Large's place in Dilton Marsh. I had a lovely business there, about 30 cars. with a workshop at the back. And I did everything, mate. Range Rovers, BMWs, Audis, you say. So sports cars, prestige cars, all that sort of stuff. And it was doing very well. And then, bosh, divorce.
What made you sack it then?
Divorce, that was it.
Oh, right, okay. I was just curious. What made you sack that? And you said that then.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It was, to be honest, mate, it was an 18-year marriage. Marriage number 3.
The longest out of 3 then, eh?
I think I keep getting snapped up.
I'll tell you what, you're as modest as ever, mate. You're as modest as ever.
Oh, I just love wedding cake. Oh, I'm a glutton for punishment. Whatever. But no, my third wife, bless her, Jill, she we were 18 years together and we just drifted apart. So we just chose to move different ways. And so that was the end of the business, really. I had to close it all down. So that's when I started working for initially Vauxhall and now working for Toyota Lexus, as a car sales exec for them. I don't know how I ever got into the sales. I don't really like to talk too much.
We've not done too bad tonight, actually.
I know. This is helping. Because this is I'm really nervous today.
Yeah. No, honestly, we discussed all this beforehand, and you've done fantastic, mate.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
You've done really well, honestly.
Thank you.
And I've really enjoyed the chat. It's been too long.
What? I spoke too long.
And believe me when I say this. No. I said it's been so long since we've spoken.
It has, yeah.
Certain people have been asking me in Facebook and stuff like that to interview certain people, and your name kept cropping up.
Really?
Just because of our time together at Tug of War.
Oh, wow.
So it was all literally the lads of the Tug of War team have been wanting to hear how you're doing.
It was. I've got to say, it was a very, very lovely moment in my life. That. Yeah.
Yeah. There's. We got into some difficulties, I must admit. We nearly got, the army board nearly banned us.
Yeah, I know. Half of it was being in Germany, wasn't it? Drinking piss out of trophies and then passing them to the other team. Just saying. Shouldn't have said that, should I?
Hey,
Sorry about that.
It's what happened. No, it's fine. It's funny.
We were going, driving to Germany in a minibus, and as we're going down the motorway with Kevin, what was Kevin? Kevin.
Kev Hewitt.
Kev Hewitt, that's it. We were driving, people, me and you and Mounty were going up over the top of the minibus, weren't we? And back in the other side, as we're going down the motorway, innit? There was...
I'll tell you what, I don't know how Kev Hewitt handled us. I think that one of the best naked ones was on the side of the 303 when we all went for a piss. And the minibus driver drove forward and just left us all standing there. While Tony Gallardi's wife at the time, or wherever it was, drove past. And we all waved.
I was actually running down because you was driving forward, and I was actually running naked because we'd done naked bus just before. So I was running barefoot and everything down the A303 to catch the minibus naked. As she literally, who could actually guess that? She was driving up the other way, and she went, "That looks like Colin naked running down the dual carriageway." And she called Tony Gilardi, didn't she? And he went, "Yeah, sorry about that."
Yeah.
Frankie, honestly,
Hey.
lovely memories, mate. I was very nervous about it tonight, but I feel really good now. Thank you.
Good. Like I said to you before, people have come on and they've relaxed into it and started chatting and stuff like that. Believe me, when I'm doing these, I'm fucking bricking it beforehand.
You're very good at it, though, mate, as well. Have you had any training?
What am I going to speak about?
Have you had any training all that about this?
No, there's no training for this, is there? You just get on and do it. Well, try to do it anyway.
Mate, you're awesome.
It's something to do. And again, what I didn't tell you before we come on, one of the other reasons I'm doing this is to stop me sitting here on a night on my own and then just going You know what I mean? Because I wanted to stop it. But I have got a request for you as well.
Oh, here we go.
I want to do a future episode, right? And it'll be me, you, Mounty, if I can get him to do it. Anyone else who's on the tug of war team, right? And we can do it remotely, like
No, because we'll get arrested, mate. No, because we'll get arrested, mate. It'll be horrendous. No, you can't, Frankie. Literally, we'll be arrested.
I don't have to publish it. I think that'd be good. It'd be hectic.
I'm not doing that, mate. No way. No way.
It'd be better if we met up and done it.
I'll do it in person, but you ain't having cameras around. No way.
Right. I'll tell you what. We're going to have to organise a war team reunion.
No, that I'm up for. No, that'd be funny. That'd be good. I reckon we'd still take a couple of people.
Well, yeah, because we're all fucking heavier. That's why.
Yeah, true that.
Fucking hell. I'm 20 odd stone now, mate.
Are you?
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, but you've always been a big lad, mate. Anchorman, ain't you?
Yeah, because it was easy.
I'm
when I got picked for the armies.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I got picked for the armies, you know what I did? Number 7.
Did you?
I was fucking dying.
Oh.
Yeah. When I did it at Combined Services, I ended up pulling for. I did one combined service weight, and on the day of the competition, the civil service team turned up, and they had nobody. They literally had like a few blokes. There was just enough of them to get on the scales, and they needed an 8th bloke. And I got dick for it. So Tony was like, "You go over there with them. You've pulled your weight. Go over there with them, right?" And it was me and 7 dwarfs. Literally, you know how big I am. I was in a 560 team, and then I pulled every other at the same team.
You might as well just been on your own, mate.
Because they were pulling every weight. I was.
Yeah.
We got knackered. We got battered. But it was hilarious. I think I pulled. I'm going to say 13 ends that day. 13 or 14 ends that day with that team. Plus the combined service team. I was shattered. I've never been so tired.
Mate, I remember just the first time I got into tug of war, I went and did a civvy competition. And I think it was one I would tell you before. Mate, I've just literally, as I said to you at the start of this, I've never gone from being in a situation like leaning back in a body position that's not normal. You know, all your joints are bent over, your back's leaning over, your arms are this way and that, and then to have to extend so much power and strength to do it. I did one end, right, and the first end, I threw up on the rope. It was about 20, 30 seconds, something like that. I've gone from perfectly normal to I literally threw up. But then you can't get off the rope. You can't get off. Not like that.
No.
The guy, I was number 4, so number 5's like, fucking get up there, mate. Go on, move forward. Carry on being sick, but you get on the fucking rope. Mate, it's brutal.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It is brutal. It's the hardest sport I've ever done in my life. Yeah.
I miss it. You know, I was never the fittest bloke in the world. I could never, I failed BFTs regularly. I was downgraded in the end. I was downgraded. I was at Larkhill. Usually be all running in the morning. I'd be on a fucking mountain.
Mate, but you couldn't move you. You could not move Frankie Dunn in the anchor. Couldn't it? It couldn't move you, mate.
I used to like the when we did the 1-on-1s on a Friday afternoon, just to ease off.
That was easy for you.
Mounty, you keep trying to pull me. You'd be rolling fags.
What were you, about 120 kilos?
I'd be hanging on the rope rolling a fag.
I'm like, you must have been about 120 kilos, is it?
No, not then. I was pushing 110 then.
Was I? All right. I was probably 85. I'm feeling about 90 now. But, mate, you couldn't move you, mate. No way.
Well, that was the whole point, wasn't it?
That's why you're the anchor.
But we had some we had some good lads on that team. It was you know what it is. There's a few of them I can't even remember the names.
Oh man,
If they
I
walked in
remember
the
it
room,
all.
I'd know who they
Yeah,
were. It's 20 odd years ago.
yeah.
Some of them I don't remember their names, but it's been a long time, and I've done a lot of things since then. But I remember it all fondly.
What I'll do with you, Frank, if it's all right with you, is after you finish all this, I'll chat to you and I'll talk to you and get to know you a bit more because I'm conscious it's not about you here. It's about me, isn't it? So, but I've said
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
I want to say. So,
No, I mean normally we go through why you joined and stuff like that, and and it's not like you say, it's not my story. It's your story,
yeah,
and you've told it well.
yeah.
And I hope people have enjoyed it. So I'll end the podcast
God
now.
bless you, Frankie.
I hope people have enjoyed listening to. Yeah, it's fine, mate. I hope people have enjoyed listening to Colin's story, and look forward to the next one.